I never imagined I'd be telling a story like this one, of those stories that feel too unreal to be true, but some things simply can't be made up. Living long enough in suburbia teaches you this. The strangest, most frightening moments rarely come from strangers in the night. They come from people who claim authority even when they have none. It was a quiet Tuesday morning on Maple Lane, and the kind of morning where the sun creeps through the trees and stretches long, sleepy shadows across identical beige houses, each with its two-car garage and pristine lawn. Ours was one of them. Nothing special, just home. But that morning, home became the backdrop for a nightmare. My mom, Rebecca, had already wheeled herself to the front of the house. She maneuvered her motorized wheelchair like a captain navigating a ship. Having memorized every bump and slope after the accident years ago that had taken both my dad and her mobility, she was fierce and stubborn, a woman who hated pity and demanded independence. Most neighbors nodded politely if they saw her struggling with groceries. But mostly, everyone kept to themselves, and that was fine. That was peace. She had simply gone outside to adjust the car. It had rolled slightly over the edge of the driveway, harmless. Right. Routine, but apparently enough to trigger someone's complaint. As she steadied herself by the door handle, a black SUV rolled to a stop across the street. 3 men stepped out, broad-shouldered and grim, wearing black polos with HOA security stamped boldly on the chest. No badges, no IDs. Just clipboards, sunglasses, and an arrogance that screamed, "We own this street." The tallest bald-headed man, gleaming under the morning sun, approached first. "You can't park here," he barked, sharp, cold. Mom squinted. At him, confused. "Excuse me, this is my driveway, my house. I've lived here for 8 years. He didn't waver. "You got a violation notice last week. You're not allowed here." 2 others flanked him, one scribbling on a clipboard, the other scrolling lazily on his phone, both acting as if this intimidation was routine. Mom tried to stay calm. "I'll be out of the way in a minute. Son is coming to help." The bald man leaned in closer, voice dropping. "You've been warned. We're done talking." And in a heartbeat before she could react, before she could move, he shoved the back of her wheelchair. I wasn't there to see it firsthand, but the neighbor's Ring camera captured everything. Mom toppled over the edge where the driveway met the sidewalk. Her body hit the concrete with a sharp gasp, her phone sliding across the pavement. She landed on her shoulder, twisted in pain, unable to move or breathe properly. And the men didn't help. One chuckled, another muttered, "She can't even get up," as if mocking her pain was part of the job. Inside, my little brother Tommy, 12 years old, heard everything. He had been half watching from the window, trusting that adults would intervene. But when he heard Mom cry out in pain, something inside him snapped. He didn't hesitate. He didn't ask permission. He ran straight to the study. Dad had passed years earlier, but his memory lingered in every corner of our house. And in that study, inside the wall safe, were pieces of him, emergency kits, important documents, and carefully wrapped a rifle Dad had left behind. Mom always said it was only for emergencies, and Tommy knew it. Ow! Watching these men hurt our mother, laughing as they did, decided this was an emergency. He punched in the coda string of numbers he had memorized. Dad's old police badge number, and the safe clicked open. There it was. Heavy reel. Final. His small hands trembled not from fear, but from the weight of responsibility. He wasn't thinking about politics, about guns, about right or wrong on some abstract scale. He was thinking about Mom lying helpless on the pavement. By the time my older brother Jacob burst through the front door, shouting, "It's too late," Tommy was already on the porch, barefoot, pale, jaw clenched, holding the rifle firmly. He didn't aim. He didn't raise it. He simply stood there, a silent sentinel. The 3 men froze. Their laughter vanished. The bald man, the one who had shoved Mom, locked eyes with Tommy, and Tommy didn't flinch, didn't blink. He just stared back, calm, measured, impossibly brave for his age. The neighborhood was waking up. Doors creaked, blinds shifted. Phones came out. Everyone saw it, the boy on the porch, the men in black polos, Mom on the ground. Silence swallowed the street. Jacob called 911, voice shaking as he gave our address. He didn't try to wrest the rifle away. He saw in Tommy's eyes that this wasn't reckless. It was protective. Minutes felt like hours. 12 minutes later, sirens cut through the morning calm. Red and blue lights splashed across garage doors. The officers didn't panic. They approached carefully. "Hey, bud, can you put that down?" "For me?" Tommy hesitated for a heartbeat, then slowly lowered the rifle, placing it on the porch, hands visible, just as Dad had taught him. Paramedics rushed to Mom. Her shoulder was out of place, painfully twisted, but she was alive, breathing. Neighbors whispered and filmed, the story spreading instantly. The men, the security, now looked small, pitiful. Later, ring camera footage would confirm everything. The shove, the laughter, the boy standing firm. The online world exploded. Headlines screamed, 12-year-old defends disabled mother with AR-215. Talk shows debated heroism versus recklessness. Opinions poured in. Nobody asked Tommy how it felt to carry that weight. He stopped riding his bike. He stopped smiling as much. He wasn't broken, just quieter, older. He hadn't wanted to be a symbol. He had simply wanted Mom safe. The legal fallout followed. Mom's civil rights attorney filed suit. Soon, dozens of families joined a class action against the HOA. The bald man had a criminal record, easily barred from working security. The HOA either ignored it or failed to check. Their defense crumbled. Eventually, Mom's case settled. The HOA board fractured. Resignations, firings, lawsuits piled up. Our family sold the house, seeking a quieter life. No HOA, no patrols, circling, just peace. Tommy never spoke to the press. He joined a junior cadet program, learning CPR, first aid, preparing to save lives rather than defend with weapons. When asked why, he said simply, "Next time, I want to be ready for something different." Mom walks again, slowly, with a cane. She plants flowers, shops, smiles. And when she looks at Tommy, she doesn't see a headline. She sees her son, the reason she's still standing. People still debate. That day, some argue no child should ever touch a gun. Maybe they're right. Maybe in a perfect world, no child would. When those pretending to protect us turned violent, a boy stepped forward, not for fame, not to be a hero, but simply to stand between his mother and harm. That's what I remember. Not the gun, not the sirens, not the endless arguments online. I remember the silence of a neighborhood holding its breath, and the boy who broke it just by standing there. So now I leave it to you. Was he right? Was he wrong? Did justice come too late, or just in time? This story is no longer ours alone. It's about community, about power, and about what any of us would do when the people we love are in danger.